can't hear me. Oh. Alright, so now hopefully you've got some type of chant. We want to energize you, get some team spirit going, because later on in our presentation you're going to kind of be competing, friendly competition between the black area and the red area. So let's make sure we've got some strong teams. Where's my BGS complex at? Awesome, cool, good energy. How about Horn Nap? Talkington? Healing Clement? Healing Clement? Nice. Wall Gates? Whoa, awesome, good spirit. Chitwood Weymouth? Coleman? West Village? Stagel Bordeaux? Murray Carpenter Walls Honors? Awesome, and that's everybody, right? How about RHA? So we are University Student Housing Student Leadership Area, so that we don't have to yell the whole time. If you guys could take it down. Cool, thank you. That's great. So we're here to talk to you a little bit about our student leadership organizations within housing and how you can get involved with those yourselves, as well as how you can get your residents involved. We are developing leaders, serving others, and inspiring change through the work that we do.
Thank you.
So right up here we have Erica Bowles. She serves as our interim assistant director. Erica, do you want to talk about what you do a little bit?
Sure. You all are probably like, oh my gosh, we have to listen to her again. So it'll be brief though. So you all know by this point, hopefully if you've forgotten. My name is Erica. So my kind of interim role with student leadership, I am serving as the assistant director, so I'm providing supervision to these fine folks up here. This is the group of specialty RLCs you didn't get to meet yesterday. And so yeah, just providing supervision and kind of oversight and support to this area.
The next two staff members on our slide that you see, okay, yeah, their boomerangs are still going. Rosalind Alston is our housing advisor over at the LDC. When you walk in the doors of the Leadership Development Center in Carpenter Wells, Roz's office has a lot of windows, and she's right there to help you with whatever. She may have helped some of our summer staff that were working here with where to go to check in and check out, as we had a lot of change going on in that complex this summer. She does a lot of our administrative work, and she helps support all 4 of our student organizations. Emily Guberman is a student assistant in our area. She's actually a grad student assistant. She's in the occupational therapy program here at Tech with the HSC. But she works with one of our RHA committees. She helps support some of our major initiatives in our area. So if you see either of those 2 people around the LDC, they work for housing, say hello and introduce yourself. My name is Allison Cole. I'm the Residence Life Coordinator for Student Development, and I serve as the primary advisor for the Residence Halls Association, and you'll get to meet those fine folks shortly here.
Hi everyone, I am Anthony Ward. I am the new RLC for Community Engagement and Service. Woo! Okay. So my primary role is to advise RHO and all of their 7 exec members, as well as branch out, so if you're interested in RHO, please come and talk to me. It is going to be fun times with me here, so come on.
Hi, I'm Paige Millenkamp. I'm a Residence Life Coordinator of Civic Engagement and Outreach. I am going to do a lot with RHA committees. I am going to be the advisor for Cute Club and also for Guns Up Forevermore. I am also going to take primary responsibility for the blood drive. You're going to hear more about that later in a slide. And I also help out Anthony with some of the RHO spring break trip stuff, and I kind of catch all with just some community engagement opportunities for our department and for all of you. So if you have any questions about getting involved with different places in the community, that's a good question for either Anthony or I, so you can reach out to us. Cool. All right, so game time. So I'm going to step out for a second, thanks. All right, so what we're going to do today is some leadership area charades. So we've split you up into red and black area. Each person, or each complex is going to act out one of the charades in the bag that we have. And it's split up into 3 sections so we can kind of keep you lively throughout the presentation. So what happens is you'll pick out, like at the end of our section 1, there's a section 1 bag up there, and you're going to pick out your student leadership associated word that has happened between the beginning of this and section 1, and same for section 2. It's not cumulative, like cumulative exams. Think of it as like those nice ones that are only covering the material you just did. We like those. So, and if you get stumped more than 3 times on words, then no treat, no prize for your side. But whoever has the most points at the end will get the prizes. So, also there's student leadership words, because we want you to pay attention to this presentation, but we also threw in a couple curveball, just Texas Tech words. So keep your mind open to what those words could be. Okay, any questions on that? All right. Rules. So when you are acting them out, no speakings. This includes sign language. Our pro staff played this. We found holes in our rules, so we're going to make sure it was very clear. Also, no writing. You can point at things, that's fine. And then also no side conversation. So for black area, we'll have like MCWH act out something. Only MCWH is going to guess, even though you're helping out your whole black area. And then we're hoping that you guys aren't talking, because otherwise we can't hear them. They can't win, you can't win, everyone's sad. And then also the person who is acting is the one that's responsible for listening. If they hear the word, they're going to point at you. You're going to say the word louder when they point at you, and that's how we'll know you get the point. And a new person has to act each time. You can't have one person acting every time. So. Any questions? All right.
Cool. So where are we at? You haven't seen us a lot quite yet. That's because we're over at the Leadership Development Center in Carpenter Wells. Does everyone know where that is, or they've been there? Yeah? Yeah, people kind of know. It's right in the center of the Carpenter Wells complex. So as you're walking around the different buildings that they have, right dead center, down the sidewalk near the clock tower, you'll run straight into the Leadership Development Center. That's where all 4 of our student groups that we're going to talk about today are housed, and that's where all of our offices are as well. So the 4 student groups that we're talking about today in the leadership area, now that you've kind of gotten to know us, we'll put you with a face and a name to these organizations. The Residence Halls Association, Raiders Helping Others, the National Residence Hall Honorary, and the Student Staff Leadership Council. All right, so we're going to first start out by talking about RHA. We actually have 4 of the RHA Executive Board members here with us today to kind of introduce themselves and talk about what they do. So if you want to come on up.
Sure. My name is Will Harris. I live in Murray. I'm from Plano, Texas, and I am the Vice President of Administration and Finance for the Residence Hall Association. And my major is Human Development and Family Studies with a minor in Public Health.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a public relations major, and I'm the vice president for programming and public relations. So I'll be doing like Stall Street and social media and stuff. So you'll see me around.
Where are you living, Sue?
Oh, I'm living in Bordeaux, and I'm so excited.
Alright, hi everyone. My name is Abigail, or Abby, or sometimes people call me Gladys. I am the Vice President of Campus Traditions, so I'll be working alongside others to work on the drag show and Kansas Tech's Carol of Lights. I am a biology major. I am currently living in Murray, and I am from Marion, Texas, which is a tiny little town outside of San Antonio.
Woo, San Antonio!
Hi everyone, my name is John Bishop. I am the 2017-2018 RHA president. I live in Talkington Hall. I am a history major, and and I'm from Dallas. Sorry. In addition to that, we have 5 internship positions this year. Each of them will work with a correlating committee. So we have the intern for recognition and records. We have the intern for health, safety, and wellness. We have the intern for sustainability, the intern for leadership development, and the intern for social justice. Yeah.
Thanks. So our RHA Executive Board members are kind of our flagship student organization within housing, and so these folks are working to advocate for the halls. And so they can work with you, they can work with your students to make sure that we're kind of, creating spaces that students want to live in and creating opportunities that students want to be a part of within the halls. So we really want to create a good partnership this year between the RHA Exec Board members and the community advisors. Because you all are compensated student leaders. The RHA Exec Board works a little bit differently than you all, but they still serve 25 hours a week just like you will in your CA position. So they work really hard on a lot of traditional events that we'll talk about in a minute, and making sure that they're advocating for students at halls and getting their face out there to your residents as well. So remember these faces, remember what they're doing, and never hesitate to reach out to them. The internship positions that John was just talking about, we haven't selected any students for those. Those aren't compensated positions, but we do have a lot of cool bonus things, and that's a great resume booster for your residents as well. So if there's someone who wants to get involved a little bit more than complex council positions, which we'll talk about here in a minute too, those students can kind of apply to be an RHA intern, serve alongside one of the exec board members, and kind of get a different level of development too. So we have 5 different committees that serve through RHA. The Complex Council Membership Development Committee, which Will is going to be working with this year, they focus on developing our Complex Council leaders so that we've got some strong leadership within the halls on all different levels. The Council of Presidents, which John will sit on with me during the year, will work with all of our Complex Council presidents as well as our 4 student group presidents to kind of bring those presidential roles together and advocate for what's best for the halls. TechSafe is our Health, Safety, and Wellness Initiatives Committee, so they're focusing on how to better campus, how to make things more safe for the residents that are living on campus. Our Clean Up the Environment Club does a lot with sustainability, and Paige is going to be working with that committee as well as Alex this year. Our Leadership Inclusion team is going to be advised by Ben. You may have met him yesterday, I believe, in the social justice presentations, the RLC for Social Justice. He'll advise that committee and work with our social justice advocates to bring them into some student leadership initiatives within the halls that have to do with diversity and inclusion. And then our Guns Up Forevermore Scholarship Committee will help promote that scholarship opportunity, which we'll talk about in a moment as well. Paige will work with that, as well as John, our RHA president.
All right, just a little bit about Guns Up Forevermore, because I think this is something that you all can get involved with as CAs. So the Guns Up Forevermore Scholarship was founded in 2014. It's a peer-to-peer scholarship, which is a little bit unique. RHA holds fundraising events, and the money generated there accumulates, and the interest goes towards scholarships for your peers, for people going to tech. So let's see, paying forward, the nominees. So in order to qualify to be able to be a recipient of Guns Up Forevermore Scholarship, you have to be a full-time student, so that's 12 hours or more. You have to be an undergraduate student at Texas Tech, be in good standing with Texas Tech University and University Student Housing, and have a GPA of 2.25 or higher. If you have residents that you think are deserving of this, peers, we've had CAs win them before, that you want to nominate, you can nominate them because A, they just deserve it, they have great tech spirit, things like that. If you know someone who's fallen on some hard times, also a great option for them. I know it's never fun as a CA to have residents not be able to come back to tech because of finances, and that's not necessarily something in your control, but this is something maybe that you could do to help. So just keep that in mind. If you just Google Guns Up Forevermore Texas Tech, it will come up. And the application process is pretty easy. It doesn't take too long to fill out. So I'd encourage you to maybe try filling one out throughout the year and have that be a personal goal of yours.
Cool. So we're going to talk a little bit. Abby works with our traditional events, and so she's partnering with all sorts of folks across campus throughout the year to make sure that our big major events are happening in a way that students want to come and attend from year to year. So I've just provided our fall semester traditional events here because I think you might get a little overwhelmed with seeing all of our traditional events. Shout out over here for wearing the Spring Fling shirt today. It's one of our traditional events in the spring. When you walked in, I was like, great day to wear that shirt. So I had to call you out a little bit. Best Dress Space. How many of you have either applied for Best Dress Space, or one of your residents in the past, or a friend from the past in the halls has either won or been a finalist in that competition? A couple of people. 2 people? Awesome. So that competition is basically what the title is. It's a best dressed space competition. So if you've got an awesome room and you've decked it out with all sorts of spirit and whatever, it doesn't have to be tech spirit, but just whatever you're passionate about or how you want to decorate your room, you can take pictures of your room and apply to win cash prizes. And USCAs also can enter this competition, which is super awesome. I think we started that a few years ago, allowing CA rooms to be involved in this, and as well as winning cash prizes for them as well. So really promote this to your residents. We've got our applications opening on August 21st, and they'll be open until September 11th. So students have a little while to deck out the room and decorate that, and then take pictures of that. And then our marketing office within housing uses these photos and just testimonials from students about living in the halls as part of our marketing materials for university student housing as well. So keep an eye out. You'll see a lot of marketing materials that have to do with best dressed space, and please promote that to your residents as you're walking around and you see really cool rooms. You know, ask them if they would want to enter that competition because they could win some cash at the end of the day. Our Carnival Casino Night this year, how many of you last year or in years past have gone to Casino Night? Woo! Yeah, it's an awesome event. We have all sorts of, we've got real dealers come out and do casino games. We've got all sorts of big prizes so that when you get your tickets at the end of your games, you can enter to win prizes. This year we've got a henna artist, a magician, a photo booth, a cartoon artist, and some food coming out. So all sorts of stuff for you to do that Thursday of Welcome Week, the 24th, from 8 p.m. to midnight over at the United Supermarkets Arena.
It also makes a great program to bring your residents to.
Yes. Yeah, it's right there at the beginning of the week. Make sure your residents are coming out to this event instead of going and doing other things. Make your life a lot easier and fun. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, the 21st, 23rd, and 25th at 10 a.m., meet outside the sub to go on a tour of Lubbock. A lot of students either don't have cars or they don't really know a lot about the city of Lubbock. So RHA wants to provide that opportunity for students to get out and explore our community. We do have a limit because we only have 1 bus per day, and so around 50 students can come to each one of those tours. It's about an hour and a half for you to come out and see what's going on in the Lubbock community. But there will be a time limit, so we may ask people to come back on Wednesday if they come on Monday and there's no room for them. Our Guns Up Forevermore oversized game night. John's been working on planning this summer. It'll be Monday, August 28th. What's that? First day of class. First day of class. Go to your classes, get your syllabi, start putting stuff in your calendar, and then come on out to the LDC. We've got some really cool giant games that you can play there. We'll have food for you all, and you can come and hang out with your friends and learn a little bit more about the scholarship that Paige was just telling you all about. Our Cute Club class kickoff cool down. Who has ever had one of the green Cute Club tumblers or a mug maybe? Yeah, a few different people. What do those get you in the dining halls? Yeah, a discounted beverage. 89-cent drinks with those cups. So come on out to that event. Alex will be out there tabling for sustainability initiatives during those events that Thursday and Friday. August 31st and September 1st. August 31st will be at Horn Nap, that's the Thursday, and then Friday will be at Chitwood Weymouth. Service Week is a partnership between RHA, the Student Activities Board, and RHO, I believe, working together on creating service opportunities for students for a whole week. During the day, we'll be out at the sub near Copy Mail with 6 minutes of service projects. So that'll be something really quick on your way to class. You can come by, decorate a tag for an animal at Haven, and then we'll go and donate that, and then in the evening you may go and volunteer at Haven. So we kind of connect those 2 different events, a passive event during the day and then something active that you can sign up and go to in the evening. If you want more information on that, you can go to facebook.com/serviceweek. Alright, we're into October now. We've done a lot. It's been a lot of fun. We're starting October off really big with Say Hey RHA Week, which all of the executive board members have been working really hard to make these events bigger and better than they have been in the past. This is a week for us to educate you on what opportunities RHA has for students in the halls. And we try to make every day something really exciting for people to come out to. So just be on the lookout in your residence hall for flyers and more information on that. That is also the same week that our committees will start up through RHA and your complex councils will get going. So it's a busy time of year for our area. On October 12th, who's ever been over to Addledew Farms for the corn maze? Was it fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, super exciting. We all come out. You can take a bus or you can drive yourself out to Adelaide Farms, go through the corn maze with your friends, buy some corn and apples and cider and hot chocolate and all of that jazz, and just hang out with people. I believe that event will start at 6 o'clock. I didn't write it on here, and so I don't necessarily know off the top of my head. And a couple weeks after that, Safe Treat. Who's participated in Safe Treat in their residence hall before? Yeah. It's really exciting. We've got members of the community coming in to trick or treat in the residence halls. This is a really big partnership between RHA and the Complex Council students, and so you'll probably be roped in as a staff member to help out with that event and be making sure that we're providing a really cool opportunity for our community members. All right, and last but not least at all of the semester, we've got Carol of Lights on December 1st. Who's been to Carol of Lights or watched it online? Almost everybody? Yeah, that's a really big event here at Tech that community members come out to. We live stream it on YouTube and do all sorts of really cool different holiday traditions at that event, so come on out. These are all also going to be posted on the RHA website, which is rha.ttu.edu as well, in case that was information overload for anybody.
All right, so straight break time. So what we're going to do is go back and forth, one hall from red area, one hall from black area. I keep saying the wrong way, red area, black area. And there's 7, I think, cards in first and second round, 6 in the last. Anyways, that adds up to 20, so 10 on each side. So we're going to go ahead and start with Wall Gates. So can you raise your hand, Wall Gates, for Anthony? All right, we need to pick one person that's going to act. All right, I need everyone's attention, please. All right, so we have Austin acting for our first one. So reminder on the rules: limit the side chatter, and also, Wall Gates is the only one who's going to be guessing during this. It's up to the actor. Yeah. So he's only acting for you all. You're the only ones listening, or only ones guessing. RHA is also going to help listen for the right answer. So go ahead. Go ahead and pull it. And then go ahead and show it to RHA. And I'm going to, do you have a time there? I give you my phone until you get your phone.
Leadership. Oh, no.
Okay. All right, so we're going to give you 30 seconds. I know. I believe in you all. Okay. Wait. You count it down now. Any questions before we go?
Yeah, okay, so is there some stuff
that we just covered, or Texas Tech traditions, or things at Texas Tech? Okay? All right, 3, 2, 1.
Nice.
Mike,
say hey, RJ. President. Meet the president.
Say hey, RHA.
RHA. Board. President. SSLC. RHO. Below. Under. Leadership. Training. Intern. Vice president. Intern. 3 words. RHA is president.
Time.
Who is it?
Council president.
Oh!
Alrighty, good.
President's in. All the Complex Council presidents and student org presidents have a committee.
I killed it.
Good work. Good try.
Alright, raise your hand, Talkington.
Talkington. Pick one lucky person to be my victim.
They're up.
We can invite them. Yeah, we only count towards each other. Come on, guys.
I can stay upstairs.
Okay. No.
10 seconds.
You and Clement.
Raise your hand. Up there. Alright, ready? Alright, counting it down.
Wait, did I start or?
No, I'm counting it down. Now. 3, 2, 1. You ready? 3, 2, 1.
I want to see that.
Yeah. Alright, one down.
Morning nap. We got morning nap pizza.
Out here.
Alright, are you ready? Oh my God. 3, 2, 1, go.
How many words?
Courtney, start editing!
Reclaiming my time.
News lesson.
Get in the face.
Spiking the wall. Oversized game.
10 seconds.
What are you doing? Volleyball?
Time. What was it?
Cliff Kingsbury. Oh, did you see it?
Alright, are we ready? We're gonna go 3, 2, 1, go!
BGS! BG on Ready? Other side.
Oh, I got this.
Alright, and we're gonna go 3, 2, 1, go!
Follow me!
Alright, Kayla, you got this?
Okay, there's one last one, so you guys need to.
There's one last one?
Yeah, there's one in there.
I don't want it. Redo.
That's easy.
Alright, here we go. 3,
Watch them not get it.
2, 1.
Poker night.
You're not my, but yes.
Wait, does that count?
Well, she said it. She said it. She heard it and said it.
Red flag. Red card.
Yeah, let's just not give him the point.
Alright, thank you for participating in round 1. We have 2 more rounds yet, so it is okay. We had 7 just then, but there'll be 7 next time, 6 the next, so I I know it might seem a little uneven, but it rounds out at the end.
So right now, red area is leading 3-2.
All right. 1 second, I have a question.
Does the whole red area get the swag?
Yes, whole red area will get swag or
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to continue with the presentation. Make sure you're paying attention. I'm not going to yell. All right, we're going to continue with the presentation. Make sure you're listening because more charades to come. All right, this is mine. Battle of the Hall blood drives. This is something I care very much about. Battle of the Hall blood drives has been a big tradition at Tech for many years. This is actually this is the biggest blood drive typically every year for United Blood Services. Texas Tech in particular supplies a good majority of the blood that our community needs in all of West Texas. Our biggest blood drive in West Texas history occurred at Texas Tech for Battle of the Hall blood drive. I can't do it. 2 years ago. So I'm really hoping we can top it this year, and I need all of your help in order to do that. So like I said, it's a semi-annual competition amongst the halls. It's by percentage, so don't worry if you have a small hall, it's okay. We try to get sign-ups from all of you. We send out sign-up sheets, and we take the percentage of your hall, 1%, and put it on a sign-up sheet. And if you fill all of that up, you have a good chance of winning the Battle Hall Blood Drive. So this year will be in the Red Raider Lounge in the sub from the 18th to the 22nd. We'll send out sign-up sheets about 2 weeks before that, as well as advertisements. So what we need from you is A, to hang those advertisements up in your hall. If you can and want to give blood, we encourage you to give blood. I always tell people, like, if you can't or are afraid of needles, which is a very common fear, that try to get somebody else you know to give blood in your place then. And then we might also ask you to table for some sign-ups in your hall, and your in-hall staff will let you know their expectations of how they want you to help with that. And then also encourage your residents to give. I plan on coming to every single staff meeting early in September and talking to you all about like how to politely ask someone to give blood. There are reasons people can't, and I understand sometimes it's uncomfortable to have to ask people to do something, especially if they're like, no, I don't want to give blood. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to stay motivated even though you're getting rejected a lot, and how to politely ask people if they can give blood or not. So that is coming up.
Cool. Whose parents have purchased OCM care packages for them? A couple of people. Who remembers a bunch of people getting OCM care packages at the front desk during the year? Boo? Not boo. We get a lot of money for RHO and RHA, our scholarship funds, and then RHO's actual funding comes through our OCM care packages. So don't boo this because this is a housing initiative, and it's something really great for our residents to kind of connect with their parents and feel some love throughout the year during the really busy times of the year. So On-Campus Marketing is a nationwide company that we partner with for this, and they ship out all the care packages, and all we really have to do is have Anthony's student leaders within Raiders Helping Others sort those care packages, deliver them to the halls, and then our front desk will make sure that residents are getting those. Just for you to all kind of know which different care packages are available to our students here at Tech, during Welcome Week, a care package will come out around Halloween time. An out-of-the-blue care package, so when it's kind of that middle of the semester time and you haven't been home in a while or haven't had any connection with that, in November. Fall finals week, so December 4th through 8th, but we're not thinking about that yet, right? And then in the spring semester we've got Valentine's Day and spring finals as well. So as I said, Raiders Helping Others is really invested and involved in that, and this is a really great initiative for students. If students are wondering, you know, hey, my parents got care packages, all of that goes through the on-campus marketing, not necessarily through us over at the LDC. So we oftentimes will get calls about it, and that's perfectly okay. You can always contact us with questions, but we may end up referring people back to OCM, the actual company, to kind of deal with, you know, if students aren't getting the packages they need. So we wanted you all to kind of be aware as a point person for your residents, because many of your residents will probably be getting these care packages filled with some goodies. All right, so how many people do programs that they typically will want, like games at, or some type of equipment that your hall doesn't necessarily have? Hopefully everybody's hands are going up. Yeah, oftentimes you want like popcorn machine, something else going on, karaoke machine at your event, and you're like, man, my hall doesn't own this. Well, the reason is we've got one on campus to be checked out to each different hall or complex council for those programs, so that we don't have 12 different popcorn machines, 12 different karaoke machines, all of that stuff throughout the different residence halls on campus. To make things easier for you, Will works with our system called Renterville. You can go onto the RHA website, which is rha.ttu.edu, and I believe you click on equipment, or resources, and then equipment, and you can get to our Renterville page. It will be like you're going online to purchase this equipment from us. We're not going to charge you anything unless you actually break our equipment, we may. But it'll say that it costs like 1 cent or 3 cents or something like that for you to check out the item, and that's only because this is actually like a corporation. We run through a website that does a lot of checkouts for companies that actually are charging other folks money to check things out. We aren't going to charge you any money, obviously, for using our equipment for one of your events. So you can just click straight past that. You'll get an email from Rosalind, who I talked about earlier, about a time where you can come over to the LDC and meet up with Will or one of the other RHA exec board members to pick up your item. If you are wondering what games we have or what supplies we have, or if there's just something kind of odd that you need for a program that you think, maybe the leadership area has purchased this for something else. We do inventory every time we get new supplies or equipment in, and put this on the website for you. And so RLCs and GHCs kind of know this system as well, so you can work with them if you're a little bit confused, or you can call right on over to the LDC or come talk to one of the RHA execs about how that process works. But we have all sorts of great things, so the sky's the limit. Come dig around on the website to see what you can program with.
All right, Howdy Texans. So, how many of you have been Howdy Texans in the past? Oh, great. All right, so Howdy Texans is a program that Tech does. It's an early move-in program. What we do is kind of like a symbiotic relationship. So they come to campus, they help us with move-in, they help you all with check-ins, stuffing rooms, they keep you from having to work terrible hours at night trying to stuff all the rooms. And in return, we give them t-shirts, food, and all sorts of, leadership development, and all sorts of things. So for Howdy Texans, Allison and I are the point people. Anthony is helping out, and John is here, is helping out with that program. They are arriving as we speak. The leaders are arriving this weekend. You might have them on your floors. They tend to be second-year students, third-year students, things like that, so maybe not your first-year halls, unfortunately. But just you wait, because Wednesday, they're all going to be here. And it's going to be about 300 people, a little under. So these people will be living in your halls. You might want to touch base with them. These are going to be great people to get involved, come to your programs. Maybe you could be good people for complex council and things like that. So keep an eye out for them. So yeah, they're facilitated by 20 Howdy Texan leaders. They're not a traditional move crew. They're not allowed to move things, and we'll get into like their actual responsibilities on the second slide. They train for 3 days, and then they work half days on move-in. Also, what they do for you, they help you with room stuffing. A little note for this, a lot of coordinators handle room stuffing by putting like 1 or 2 CAs, pair them up with 2 or 3 for Howdy Texans. During this time, we're really counting on you to be leading them, but possibly not bossing them. So how to kind of work with them is we have very specific move-in ready rooms, how we want signs, where we want things. We're relying on all of you as our student leaders, our seasoned student leaders, to make sure those rooms are right and to hold the Howdy Texans accountable and make sure the rooms are correct. So if you see one of them like not taping things up well or kind of being haphazard, kindly lead them and let them know like this is how I need you to do it, and then model it for them. So and be very clear with what you need. If you just say tape this up, you don't want to know what it's going to look like. So show them or kindly correct them when you see stuff. So that's going to help us a lot on move-in day. It's going to help you from having to go back and fix things after the fact. So yes. So Howdy Texans, what they'll do on move-in day, these are the different roles that they'll do. So we have elevator operators. They get to push buttons on the elevator all day. It sounds a little tedious, but I mean it's kind of fun. This helps us have more efficient moves. It stops them from stopping at every floor. That if they're already full, they can override the system and go down instead of stopping and be like, we're full. They'll also be greeters. They get people psyched for moving. They wear those big foam hats and things, and they'll be at the doors opening doors for parents and for students. We have cart rental. There's always going to be 2 Howdy Texans at the cart rental table, and they're just kind of going to manage that process, collect money and state IDs, and then distribute those things back. They can be check-in assistants with you. They can't handle keys, but they sure can help you with like inventories and things like that. And then we also have roamers. Roamers are going to help you pick up boxes in your hall, plastic, help people, maybe retrieve carts that have been left in the hallways, things like that. All right, round 2.
Ready for more charades?
Murray Carpenter-Wells honors.
All right, here we go. Everyone kind of quiet it down, please. All right, 3, 2, 1. Yep.
Best village.
Small but mighty. Small but mighty. Yeah.
All of us are shy.
Oh my God. Okay, well, wait for 3, 2, 1. You got it.
No, I said watch. That's the one I'm gonna get. I said wait a second.
Was it blue?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Good job. Now go talking.
Talking Tin food.
Oh, single or no? Sorry, single or no.
That's okay.
Sorry. Staying on my nose.
Say it out.
Can I take some?
Got a big step.
You're a little mixed up now, so like together, so you have to say. Don't mess it up. You should know what that is.
Mario.
All right, I'm gonna count it down.
I mean, you wasn't supposed to say that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Mario.
Chair.
Black.
Black.
Red.
Person. Shirt.
Red.
Black and scarlet. Scarlet
Yes.
and black.
Yep.
Okay, walk out.
All right, we're gonna go 3, 2, 1, go.
OCM. OCM.
Say it again.
OCM.
Care package?
Nope. Yes.
Care package.
Washington! Where we at?
Let's be with that If they get this running.
right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. There's a special word.
Oh, you don't let them have a special word.
You want to fight?
No, we.
Yes.
Elevator operators. Where are those people?
Howdy, Texas.
Howdy, Texas.
All right. And now we're going to.
Hewlin Clement. There's only one, so.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Come on, do something. Elevator.
6 to 5 still, y'all. 6 to 5.
All right, as RHA is grabbing their seats, I'm going to start talking to you about Student Staff Leadership Council. This is probably the student org that most applies to you. This student org is for you. This is comprised of the RTs, SAs, CAs, and SGAs. So this is a representative body of paid university student housing members. They have weekly meetings, which are Wednesdays at 4 p.m. in the LDC. Some things that they do are development, advocacy, and staff recognition. So for development, some things they've done last year, they did facility tours, so they'll take a set number of people, they'll sign up, they'll take them through the tunnels and below the ground that the dump trucks and things use. They'll show them the facilities department and the recycling centers and things like that. Advocacy, every year, one year they got new vacuums. They put in proposals for student teachers to be able to be CAs. Just a little context on that, we can't because that's a education, College of Education policy. And then also every year there's parking, but we have an OP that also says that nobody at Tech can get free parking if they're an employee. But it's things that you all have decided are important to you as staff members that have put forward to advocate for yourself as employees. And then staff recognition. They do birthday cards. If you volunteer for break coverage during Thanksgiving, winter break, the interims, things like that, spring break, they put together bags that have like water and treats to kind of help you through that time where maybe you're not at home or maybe you're taking one for the team, and they give you a little thank you for that. And they also help plan the end of your banquet. That's usually typically in April. And you'll be getting invites for that, but they put a lot of work into that. They have applications for you all to nominate your staff and programs and students in your hall, and they award the banquet or award the awards at the banquet. This is a voluntary participation. You don't get paid extra. We can't mandate that you go, but it is nice to have at least one representative from each hall go. That's your person representing your voice from your hall. They can bring updates back to you so that you get cool opportunities like going on the facilities tour, or they know what's going on with the end of your banquet recognition so that you have more chances to win stuff at the end of your banquet. Pro staff can come. You'll have an advisor that's a pro staff member, and then the AD of our area also helps with that. And that's the voting breakdown. We also have NRHH. This is a leadership honorary supporting the top 1% of campus leaders. So our membership is at approximately 78 students right now, because that's about 1% of our on-campus population. Their meetings are Tuesdays from 5:30 to 6:30. They do a lot of major events too. They do an induction ceremony, and they also, when our grad students interview here to be grads, they host a social.
The time is subjective to.
It's the wrong time, you said?
We haven't decided which
Oh, okay. That's what it has been in the past. It might be different, apparently. So keep an eye out for that. And if you would like to be nominated, I would talk to your pro staff person about wanting to be nominated for NRHH in the future. It's a nice thing to put on your resume. They also do a lot of service projects, and one of their big initiatives is OTMs, which stands for
Other
Other Months. Great, that was more than I expected. So those are like small recognitions. So the end of year banquet is a cumulative, all throughout the year thing. OTMs are just that month. So you're recognizing a pro staff member, a student staff member, a team, a student, a professor, whatever it is, a program. And those are due on the 3rd of the following month at 5 p.m. Does that make sense? Great.
Yeah. So next we're going to talk to you about REAL. I know, right? Y'all finally hear my voice. So REAL is Raiders Educated About Leadership, and it's an 8-week leadership series. Emily Guberman, who we introduced in the beginning of the PowerPoint, is the individual that oversees this program. So if you have any questions, please direct them to her. We are all willing to help, but she is the person about that. It is open to all residents via online intent forms. Campus and community expert presenters come and help facilitate the sessions. You are allowed to miss up to 2 of these classes, and you can still graduate, so please try not to miss none. But it's an awesome way to get leadership experience, resume boosters, and it can help you in your future. If you do see yourself wanting to be or your residents wanting to be a executive member of an organization or anything higher up than just a member, this is a good way to help boost your resume and your professional development skills, okay? Focus on how to function as a team and also service projects and formation, sorry. Good? Went on anything? Perfect. Okay, so RHO. I advise RHO, so if you're interested in joining, please let me know, or the executive members. Was anyone a part of RHO in here in the past years or so? 1. Yay, our Lone Star. 2, 3, okay, never mind. So RHO is composed of 7 executive members, the president, vice president, and treasurer. And then there's 4 committee heads. There are 4 committees: human rights and advocacy, youth and education, animal and environment, and health and wellness. And you can read what each committee represents. We also go on 4 alternative spring break sessions, which is sponsored by each of the committees. So I know for human rights and advocacy, we go to, no, that's Davis School. Davis School is youth and education. Animal and environment is the Utah Field Institute. Health and wellness, that is the Orlando. Yes, Give the Kids the World in Orlando. And human rights and advocacy is the Cherokee Nation. Okay, I am just learning these, so please give me time, but I will know them by spring break, I promise. If you are interested in going on any of those or possibly attending RHO, please contact an RHO member and let them know that you're interested. We do want to build ourselves and become an awesome organization just like RHA, so please come out and support. And like I said, our alternative spring breaks are here. So human rights and advocacy, go to Cherokee Nation. I kind of skipped the slide. Youth and education, David School. Animal and environment, go to Rocky Mountain Field Institute in Utah. Rocky Mountain Field Institute in Utah, just repeating that just for clarification. And then health and wellness, they go to Give Kids the World in Kissimmee, Florida. One cool thing about that trip is you get to also do 2 different types of service. Not only attend Give Kids the World, but you also do some type of other initiative too. And that has not been determined yet, so we'll let you know that as we come up to that date. Some frequently asked questions. Who can attend / participate in an ASB trip? Does anyone know the answer to that?
Anybody?
Everybody.
Practically, any student, member of RHO, or any in-hall resident can basically attend. Do I, as a student, have to pay?
No.
No.
Yes. Got me excited there. So yes, you do have to pay. But this leads into my next question. Does RHO assist in trip expenses?
Yes.
Yes. We have service initiatives that go on throughout the year that helps discount your price. I think you get up to 40% off your total trip. So that's a good chunk of change that's taken off of your trip, so that allows you to go and help service other individuals. So please put that on your radar, and more information will be coming out soon about that. So.
All right, this is the very last. All right. So this is our last charade break. I know you're all worried.
Come on, Mornap. Pull through. They need you. Mornap.
Five seconds.
Housekeeping.
Try it.
Yeah, SSLC. All right.
Okay, I didn't get that one
Yeah. Got it.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, God.
In RH. RHA.
Say it all out. Yeah.
Graders helping others.
Yep.
BGS. Is it BGS? BGS. Oh, here, okay. BGS. Come on, someone. Got it. Up in the pit. Okay. Because I was going to pick you.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Memorial Circle.
Oh, are they?
All right, got it. Memorial Circle.
Why did you? Coleman! Coleman!
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Forward. NRET.
SLT.
Battle of the Halls of Blood Red. Graves of...
Yeah.
Martin Carpenter Wells honors. I think there's.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Recognition. Oh, why am I doing? Oh my God.
She just said it, yep.
All right. All right, so is that all? Is that all? Okay.
Yeah!
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
2 words.
Rally tech readers.
Greeters.
Patrick Mahomes.
You can't.
Patrick Mahomes.
You can't.
Red.
There's only one in here. Bob and me. How the hell am I supposed to do that?
Alright, so this one, somebody check my math, but if you get this one, you tie. So if you don't do this one,
They have 7. They can't come back.
oh.
Can this be worth 2? If you saw it, that's freaking hard.
Alright, so we have our last one. It's just for fun because they're 9 ahead and you guys are 7.
The first one, they had 1 more than we did.
But it evened out because there's 20 total. It was 20 total. So we're gonna have you act it out anyway. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Only the Macarena! One Macarena.
How many words?
NRHA?
I don't know how to describe this.
Oh, that's
10 seconds.
Come on.
SSLC.
SSLC.
He got it. No. Why? He got it. He got it. Yeah.
I repeated it twice.
Alright, so
2 points worthy.
alright. So for the last part of the presentation, Allison's gonna talk to you a little bit about Complex Council and then we're gonna talk. Hey guys, I need quiet. Alright. So we're gonna have Allison talk about Complex Council and then we're gonna talk about the prizes and stuff.
Okay, awesome. So how many of you were involved in Complex Council? A handful of folks. Awesome. So these are our organizations for each different residence hall complex that kind of help to program and get a little bit more involved in the hall. And programming initiatives, RHA committees that we talked about earlier, all these students serve on those committees and report to RHA with different initiatives that they work on in your hall. You serve as a main person to help us recruit our students for Complex Council because none of them are elected yet. They're all kind of showing up on move-in day. They don't really know how to get involved on campus yet. And Complex Council is a really easy way for them to get involved right there in their residence hall where they live. So I've got pulled up the RHA website and then I just clicked on Get Involved and then there's a Complex Council tab and that takes you straight to this page that has more information about Complex Council and what our recruitment timeline looks like. Students can go on ahead and apply right here. This application has been open all summer long because our RHA Exec Board members have been at our RRO student org fairs recruiting students and telling parents about this opportunity for their student to get involved. So there's the frequently asked questions about how they can get involved with Complex Council on here. So if you're unsure or if you weren't involved, you may want to go take a look at this as you'll be a primary person in helping some folks get involved with Complex Council. It's a very easy form that they just go to on University Student Housing's OrgSync page to kind of fill out why they want to get involved in their hall. And then an election process will be done in your hall after the fact. the recruitment process will be done in your hall, and then the election process will be done online, and that's so that every student has the opportunity to go in and vote for those officers. That's a really cool opportunity because everybody in your hall can go in and vote for complex council officers that will represent their hall at RHA committees and then program for the hall and partner with all of you to do different things within the hall. These students oftentimes move on to being involved in other leadership positions within housing, including being community advisors. And you can really use them to your advantage when it comes to programs and getting involved in the hall and requirements that you have with the residential curriculum. Get these students kind of involved with the things that you already need to do within your job as community advisor. I'm not sure where it is on here and I don't really want to look right now, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about the breakdown of our complex councils. So the executive board members, we've got kind of a traditional executive board that's called the leadership team. So that's like your president, your vice president of executive development that works on like leadership programs and things like that for the hall. Your senators that go to Senate with RHA, your treasurer or your vice president of administration and finance who serves kind of as your treasurer and your secretary all at once. Let's see, I'm doing this by memory. And your, thank you, your vice president of programming as well. Cool. So those folks meet weekly to kind of plan and present things to the hall and have general body meetings around once a month during the months that you are primarily in school. And then we've got students who are involved on kind of a different level. They're the ones getting out in your residence hall, finding out what students want to advocate for, finding out what kind of programs students want to do, and getting your hall connected with all of the other complexes, all other 9 complexes, including your own. That makes 10 complexes on campus, connecting through our RHA committees. So those students are focused on initiatives such as health, safety, and wellness in the hall, sustainability within the hall, getting you involved in intramural sports within your hall. So there's really endless opportunities through those people's positions, and those are our directors. So really, any student who is looking to just get involved in something, if they're passionate about one specific area, if they're really good at marketing and advertising, or they want to learn more about that, there's a director of social media and advertising that they can run for. And so there's a lot of different opportunities for students, and so we really want you all to kind of help be the people who get students involved with this to retain students within the residence halls. Once we get those officers elected in September, they kind of go off campus for a retreat with the RHA Executive Board, Paige and myself. We'll go over to Happy, Texas to a campground for a weekend, and we'll do all sorts of leadership development training and stuff like that, and they'll get to bond and connect with one another. We'll have all of our grad student advisors with us too. And then they'll come back to the hall and they'll have a lot of different opportunities to program and get involved with whatever else in the hall that you all think would be a good opportunity for them to do. So yeah, that's kind of a very brief breakdown. Does anyone have questions? You'll get a lot of posters to hang in your residence hall floor and in the lobby that kind of outline this process. And advertise for the positions. The RHA Exec Board members will also be advertising for these positions as well. But we really need to have people involved on every single level in order to be able to kind of do what we all need to do in the halls. Any questions on complex council stuff? Sweet.
All right, so before, oh, you got one question.
Yeah.
Last year there was a change in the structure of complex council. Is it remaining the same as to how it was kind of like last year?
Yep, yeah, we changed our structure to be those 2 different levels of involvement that I talked about, the directors and then the traditional executive board members. We changed that last year to better serve campus and to better connect all 10 complexes together and better route them through RHA to advocate for issues in the hall and actually do a lot more programming and to get more involved based on not just their own hall but all of campus. So yeah, if you're familiar with last year's structure, nothing has changed, everything stays the same. All is well in the world. So. Cool.
All right, so just a reminder, if you're red area, stick around. Also for all of you to know in the future for our welcome back events that we're doing this week, our next not this week. We open next week. Okay. A lot of these items will be at the RHA events there, so just attend an RHA event and you will get some swag. So that's something to look forward to, or if you don't get the swag that you wanted, you could go to an RHA event and get that. Before we dismiss you all to in-hall, are there any announcements from the pro staff people? All right, well, thanks for sticking with us. We ended 15 minutes early. All right, right here, if you want to come on down. This is like take one item.
Oh, that's right. We gotta get our swag.
Oh my gosh,
John. Poor Mario. Maybe next time. I got my question.
Why? I'm thinking. How's it going?
When am I gonna get my painting?
Whatever you want.
I'm so excited for that painting.
Yeah, I got me 100.
Honestly, that is exactly what the art in El Salvador looks like. Those colors and then the fluffy and the. It was awesome.
I'll get you.
Okay.
When's Brianna coming? There's nothing. I miss her. I miss her.
Oh, he's like 6'5". I think he's funny.
Did you already get your?
Yeah, I got this.
Okay. Mine look all like this. We're pretty good.
It's not this long.
Can you see? I don't think so. I mean, your backpack's blocking. I don't think anyone's gonna be like, hey! Okay, I want to work on this.
I know, I got super lucky, man. I was like chilling.
Cameron, you should have gone up there.
We wouldn't have won nothing.
What? Yeah.
We did it.
Gum food. Yo, GP. GP, where you at? Food, some sticky notes. Wait, yo, some more.
What's happening? What's up?
Can't let
You're in
Yes.
What happened?
There's like still fucking cube. So you plug in your cord too.
I'll pass.
Are we like walking I may need some help.
Billy.
Are you gonna?
Cameron got one and I got one too. It's a base.
I don't know. Someone brought it over. Molly! So you want to help me print out some letters, yo?
Oh, I'm sorry. RJ items. What is your welcome back? Ours is on the 23rd from 1:30 to 3:30.
RHA has all of those events that I talked about during the presentation. We've got, I think, 9 different Welcome Week events. So.
Is it possible to, like, if we have a like RHA and ask for like
if it's an RHA sponsored event, those things will be there, but otherwise, no.
What counts as an RHA sponsor? Yeah. No, it's
the events that the RHA executive board plans throughout the year.
Oh, so as the company will say, hey, we have a program.
If it's a partnership, then yes. If it's just that you want to take our promo stuff, then no, unfortunately not. We've got to use that for our own stuff. Sorry. No.
So that's the West Village.
Oh.
What are you doing?
What was it?
Just well, you're the one collapsing over there, so I just assumed you did something.
I'm so excited. It was like recognition. Walk away. Walk away. I wanted them to win.
Brandy? Brandy?
Brandy?
Brandy?
Brandy? Brandy?
Are you taking the camera? Yes. Okay.
They're like, good job, love.
I'm like,
Yeah, because I was like, shout out to John and I was
I wonder if he left. Yes, he did. Okay.